Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to United Online. We have been in a message series called Legendary, where we're talking about heroes of faith and how their story applies to our life. And we kicked this series off in May, looking at the life of Joseph. Then we looked at Noah. Last week we talked about Joshua, and today we're going to bring this series to a close, looking at one more story in the life of Joshua. So we're going to be in Joshua chapter 24, but before we get to the scriptures, I want to share with you one really important point that I need you to grab hold of today, and that is simply this. It is not how you start, it's how you finish. Let me say it again. How you finish is more important than how you start. Think of it. If you're in a race and you start dead last, but you finish the race in first, you still ended up in first place. It is not about how you start, it's how you finish. And we're going to look at Joshua's life today, and we're going to look at how he finishes his race. And I want to encourage you today. It's so important that you understand that you should not disqualify yourself. Don't get angry at yourself. Don't look at what you haven't done and then you don't start doing what you should do because you think you got off to a bad start. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Because here's what you need to know. And I know that you know this, but transition is a part of your life. You're going to close out one chapter of your life, and then you're going to start a new chapter. And then you're going to close out that chapter, and then you're going to go into a new chapter. So people go from Victory Kids, and then they go to youth ministry. From junior high, you go to high school. From high school, you graduate and you transition and you go to college. And college, you transition out of college into a career field. From being a young adult to an adult, from living in your parents' house to living out on your own. You always are going to go through these different transitions in your life. And here's what you have to understand: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And so don't look at where you are right now and get frustrated with your situation and feel like I can't get things going because I've got off to a bad start. I want to encourage you to finish strong. Do what you've got to do to get back up and finish your race strong. So in Joshua chapter 24, verse 15, here's what it says. Joshua is talking to the people. This is like his farewell address. And he says, "If you refuse to serve the Lord, then choose today whom you will serve. If you would prefer the gods of your ancestors, the gods your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or will it be the gods of the Amorites in whose land you now live?" And then he makes this statement: "But as for me and my family, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." So Joshua, at the end of his life, he's been leading the nation of Israel. And then at the end of his life, he says, I'm going to go out serving God. How I started was serving God, and I'm going to go out serving God. And if you don't want to, it's not going to dictate what I do with my relationship with God. He said, you can serve the gods of your ancestors. You can serve the gods of the people of the land that we're living in. But for me, as for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord. And so I want to encourage you, if you have started your relationship strong with God, then finish strong. All right? But maybe you haven't started where you want it. Maybe right now your relationship with God isn't where you know it should be, or it's not where you want it to be. I want to encourage you, don't disqualify yourself. Don't give up on your relationship with God because of where you're at right now. I've seen so many people, and I know that you have to start strong, and we look at them and we're like, wow, that's so impressive. And look how good they are. I can never be that good, and so we don't even start. And then that person doesn't finish strong. They give up. They walk away from God. Or it could not even be about the things of God. It could be about a sport or a talent or whatever it may be. And what we do is we look at them and then we look at us and we disqualify ourselves. We don't even begin because we don't feel like we we can start that strong. I'm telling you to get started today, and don't just start strong, but finish strong. And that's what happened in Joshua's life, because Joshua, not only did he lead well, not only did he live well, not only did he start well, he finished strong as well. And that was his legacy. Look at this in Joshua, just a couple verses later, 24:31. It says that the people of Israel served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and the elders who outlived him, those who had personally experienced all the Lord had done for Israel. So Joshua lived for God, and while he was alive, people served the Lord, and they served the Lord during Joshua's time. And then those that he led, the nation of Israel, served the Lord for those the season of those that outlived Joshua. His legacy was that he started strong. His legacy was that he lived strong. And most importantly, his legacy is that he finished strong. He said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And so I want to encourage you today, all right, to get started, and don't be impressed by how other people are where they're at. All right, take inventory on where you're at, and don't just start strong, but finish strong. And if you haven't started yet because you're nervous, or you haven't spent time in God, or maybe you haven't spent time in worship in a while, maybe you haven't done this or done that, I want to encourage you, start today, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Why do people walk away from their faith? Why do people, they're in church, or they go to youth church, but then they walk away from God, and then you don't see them anymore. Or maybe when they go off to college, or they graduate, or they move out of their parents' house, why do people walk away from their faith? I think it's because they never had a true, deep relationship with God. It was always on the surface. And so today I'm telling you, all right, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So go deep with God now, all right? Worship God today. Pray today. Connect with God today. Stop looking at stupid stuff on your phone today, and start looking at things that glorify and honor God today, that are going to help you build a strong foundation, so that you don't only start well, but you finish well, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And then listen to this, how you leave is how you enter. So when you leave one room and walk into another room, if you left that room upset, you're going to enter into the next room upset. So it's important that you finish strong, like Joshua. He finished strong because he was going to enter eternity in a place of strength. All right? So it's not how you start, it's how you finish. But how you end is how you enter into the next room. It's how you enter into the next transition. So if you finish, this season, this school year strong, you're going to enter into summer strong. Are you with me? If you finish high school strong in your faith with God, you're going to start this next chapter strong. So how you leave is how you enter. So you have to finish strong, because I know it and you know it, that transition is a part of life. And so let's not just be impressed by where this person is at or that person is at. I want to encourage you, stop and take inventory on where you're at today, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish. This is what Paul said. He said, I have ran the race. I have fought the good fight. I have ran my race. I have remained faithful. And I want to encourage you today to remain faithful to God. So as we end this message series, and as I end this talk today, I want to ask you to ask the Holy Spirit, what is He saying to you through this message and in this season? Do you need to get started? Do you need to stay strong? Do you need to finish strong? I love you, and we'll see you real soon.
Hey guys, hope you guys enjoyed our message today, and remember to share it with someone and follow us on Instagram.